Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing Arrival. Just finished watching it, it's free on YouTube currently, with ads, but the ads are rather short, so just a typical YouTube video. Just keeping the content rolling. So, the typical thing, I will read you the overview with some logistics about the movie, just any things that pop up, other rating systems, reviews, my overall impressions and grade, and after that, if you've not watched the movie and like to based or not based on my recommendation, or want to shut off the video, we will be discussing the plot synopsis, so there will be spoiler alerts. Similar movies, major themes, maybe a little bit. So, Arrival, PG-13, released in 2016, sci-fi/thriller. It's an hour and 56-minute runtime. Overview says, linguistics professor Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams, leads an elite team of investigators when gigantic spaceships touch down in 12 locations around the world. As nations teeter on the verge of global war, Banks and her crew must race against time to find a way to communicate with extraterrestrial visitors. Hoping to unravel the mystery, she takes a chance that could threaten her life and quite possibly all of mankind. So, 85% liked it on Google, 3.6 out of 5 on whatever the fuck RYM is, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 7.9 on IMDb. Google says it's epic, compelling, and thought-provoking. Yeah, I disagree. I didn't find this one super entertaining. Again, I watch movies, clearly watch a lot of movies, but just anything in the writing plot that's a new novel makes me think or makes me different, makes it stand out as opposed to one of the other 100 movies I've watched. But this one, to me, it was just some broken science. Again, we'll get to the plot development, but it was just, certainly has an ominous feel to it. In terms of the sci-fi, the aliens doesn't do much for me at all. But yeah, so it was alright. I will give it a C+, in the, just below the entertaining range for me. And I've already seen it, but I didn't really remember what the major point of the movie was. But to me, it's just more of like a commentary about some broken science, some broken philosophy, an ominous cinematography, presentation, and then just like basically a question about nihilism, like should you live life if you know what's going to happen or something. So it's kind of like all movies written by human beings. It's a commentary about the human condition with some context, and so this was just like some broken science, some nihilism, and then some aliens. And so didn't really do much for me. C+, not off-putting, just blah. So if you have not watched the movie and would like to, you want to shut off the video now, there will be spoiler alerts. So the movie opens up and you have this linguistics professor, Louise. She kind of goes to the whole movie kind of have these flashback scenes. She has this daughter, Hannah, who in the opening scenes you kind of see her, she's young, she gets this disease, and then she passes away. So the presentation of the movie is that Louise has this daughter that has passed away and she's single. And so she's teaching at this university, and they go into class, and this is one of the opening scenes. They go into class, and the class is not many of the students are there, and they start the classwork, and then people's phones keep going off, and they turn on the news, and these big alien spaceships have landed at 12 different locations across the globe. And so Louise dismisses the class and basically like, aliens are here, you guys can take the day off from studying Portuguese. So they literally talk about Portuguese in the movie. And so they dismiss class, and then you get introduced to Colonel Weber, who's played by Forrest Whitaker. I like him as an actor. He had one movie that was like just like an offshoot random thing that I really liked that was rated terribly. No idea what it was called, but I might look that up later. But played by Forrest Whitaker, he comes and approaches Louise and's like, hey, can you translate this and play some alien audio tape? And the people in the movie, everyone's aware that they're aliens. And so she can't really translate anything. She's like, I have to go there and interact with them or do this on site if you want me to do anything. Colonel Weber goes to ask somebody else, and she's like, Louise is like, ask whoever this other guy you're going to interview is, what's like the Sanskrit word for war or something? What does it mean? So again, like a little gotcha, I'm smarter than you, gotcha. But so he does that, I guess, and he had the bad translation, so he shows up to Louise's house in the middle of the night in like a helicopter escort. And so she flies out, and then you meet Ian, who was played by Jeremy Renner. At least you stay away from the snowmobiles in this one. But so he's the astrophysicist and she's the linguist. And so I thought there might be some interesting commentary because I tried to do school and I tried to do physics at school. Couldn't do that because I got neglected out of school and then blamed for it by a community of people. So obviously it's my fault that I don't have credentials or a way to feel like a human being. So I couldn't do physics. Also tried to do linguistics, and then Johnny Appleseed comes up to me in the pool with knowing nothing about me and says, "You're pretty good at languages. Where'd you guys learn that at?" So I thought again, I tried to be a professional linguist and a professional physicist and mathematician and everything else too, but it doesn't work because I'm scapegoated by the entire species. And so they're on this helicopter ride, and they're flying out to this site. Well, I think this one is in Montana. The one's in UK, one's in Australia, one's in Siberia. Blah blah blah. And so now obviously the human concern is this a threat? She said, "Brad, are you a threat? You existed, Brad. Are you threatening me? Oh my gosh, you don't know how to behave. Are you threatening me? Just calm the fuck down. Pay my fucking money, please." But powering through another fucking worthless movie review, I just can't fucking fit into fucking anything. My life is so fucking ruined. If I ever become a fucking somebody, treason is fucking death. But that is a major thing. They talk about treason, so we'll get to that. But the goal is to figure out what the fuck the aliens are doing. And so they have there's this big, 4-story tall egg-shaped things. And once they go in there, the gravity doesn't work. You usually walk on the wall or something. But you just have this viewing glass, and then they initially go in there, and again, obviously trying to build an ominous feel. They go in there, they have these hazmat suits on, they approach very cautiously. Both Ian and Louise the first time are very just after they get out of the session, basically the door opens to the spaceship once every 18 hours, and then they go in there and interact with these. They're heptapods, again, more just big octopus type of alien structure. But they go in there, and then they try to communicate. They don't really make any progress. And when they get out, Ian throws up. They're all very shaken by meeting the aliens. And Louise is "Am I fired?" And Colonel Weber's like, "No, you did better than the last guy." And so the next day, the next session where they're going to go in there, Louise decides that she's going to try to communicate with words, written words, as opposed to just voices. And so the commentary about how language develops was just awkward to me. The conversation about the physics is always just awkward to me. And so the writing was nothing if you're not educated in physics or, again, the research level. You're going to find the natural sciences, somebody could have some interesting thing to you, but it's just broken physics. And then the linguistics was bad too. And so they start communicating with just whiteboards, and then they shoot ink up onto this barrier thing. And so they start, after that, then they start matching body movements to words, which is actually how you would actually translate or anything. Again, if you met an alien that spoke nothing, no English, and again they would have syllables they would be able to articulate. Some of them, but if there was a given alien that does speak, you would just match body motions, posture. Body language is the first language, and words just represent that. And so again, dancing, you'd be able to tell if someone's in a good mood by body posture or and stuff like that. And so that's the realistic part. Is again, before they're just trying to speak to them, is the first thing we do would be matching body movements. And so that was decently realistic. But regardless, then you have some elapsed time where they've done 30 or 40 sessions or whatever, and now they have a bunch of data. They have somehow they've deciphered this. Again, they're talking about these they kind of write in circles, and it's they have this mystical, they imply meaning in this. It's so do words. This commentary on linguistics was just high-flying philosophy by broken fucking idiots that have no idea how to be educated. It's just shit. And so the whole movie wasn't shit, just the commentary on the linguistics and math. But regardless, they have a bunch of these different sessions. Now Louise has this pad where they've, again, deciphered some of these words, which would be literally impossible. And so that's what they do there. And they have it's a big international conglomerate of organization. And again, throughout the whole movie, you have these flashback scenes with Louise's daughter Hannah at different ages. And you have one scene where it's kind of a reference where it's you kind of pick up that it's not that she's kind of seeing the future, because when she says Hannah gets mad and it's or not mad, but I need someone to help me with science, and Louise is if you want science, call your dad. And so at this point again, Louise and Ian are colleagues, but in that scene, which is 30, 40, 50% of the movie, you pretty catch that pretty quickly. And so You have, again, there's a lot of looting and rioting, global war, blah, 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 on the verge. But basically, they go back and forth for a long time, and then they finally ask him, like, what's your purpose in the alien language that they would not be able to decipher written thing without script, in the same way we can't decipher Sumerian or something like that. But regardless, they basically say use weapon is the translation they get. So now everyone's freaking out because, like, oh my gosh, Earth, we're all threat, we're all scared, oh God, we're all gonna die, oh God, human beings are fucking worthless. But anyway, in the movie, they're sad about about World War, and I'm over here like, I would just purge this shit. This fucking point, just purge this shit. But regardless, they use weapon, and now China goes offline, Russia goes offline, Sudan goes offline. Again, they have this big international communications channel for this big global event. And yeah, and so now they're all freaking out. Hannah's like, or Louise is like, you don't have to go back in there after the last session. They have like 5 minutes, so they go back in there, and they get this other, just like this. They're typically just getting like one circle ink blot things. Now they just get this big plethora of stuff, and so Louise and Ian both get like concussed. They get like knocked out because I think some soldiers start like shooting at the egg or something. But they get concussed. They're back in the barracks now. They're physically okay, but they have some concussions. And now the whole world's freaking out, and they're going to evacuate the site, and China's going to try to kill the alien spaceship. And so Luis again runs back out, goes back up into the ship, gets like buzzed up there, and this time, and she progressively uses less. Like the first time they have the hazmat suit, and then when they want to introduce themselves, they take off the hazmat suit so they can see them. What if the aliens want to see titties? What if they want to see you naked, not just in your jeans and your t-shirt? And so this time she goes back up there, and she goes literally into like this like floating place where the aliens are, and she starts to like see the future, and she sees her daughter. And you've had flashback scenes with the daughter the entire movie, and she learns that basically the weapon, when she says use weapon, it's the aliens' language, and she has like these flash forward events to this like big conference. And you can see these circle things like up on the national banners. And so that's what's going on there. She had zoomed up in there, and now she can like see the future, but she realizes that use the weapon is use the alien language, which has no like, the broken physics is like it has no perception of time. Time is a measurement, right? What time is it? Oh, it's 12 o'clock, I gotta eat lunch. Uh-oh, I have 30 minutes until I have to go do this. It's a measurement of inefficiency. And for the broken philosophers and the stupid fucking idiots who are so extensively illiterate, time is an illusion. It's just a fucking measurement. So again, they're talking about like, use the alien language so time is non-linear and you can see the future. Nope, there are aliens fucking everywhere in real life, and they cannot see the future any more than that rock over there can see the fucking future. So that's the physics going on there. That's like the big point thing. That's not really the point of the movie. Regardless, she comes back down, and they're all gearing up to again continue to evacuate. And now Louise has this big message, and the entire time you have a couple other minor characters. Agent Halpern, he's in there, also in the military group, and a bunch of minors and extras. But so basically, Louise steals Agent Halpern's phone, his like government phone, to call China. And now Louise, she has the big revelation of what use weapon means. She's going to call General Shang, who's the Chinese military leader. And so they have cut off all communications. The Americans start tracking that someone's contacting China from their direct area, and they're figuring out whose phone it was, and it's Agent Halpern's. And Louise had taken the phone, and she's not sure what she's going to say to the head of the Chinese, but she does speak some Mandarin even before the movie. It's not like she magically learns Mandarin. But regardless, she calls General Shang. Then you get like a fat flash forward scene where it's like Shang approaches Louise at this big international unity thing, and it's like you said something to me that I can't forget, or you changed my opinion by saying my dying wife's words. So now Louise can is telepathic, or can see the future or some shit. And again, telepathy and any real things is just sensitive receivers and close proximity. Can you hear me? Yes. But so she changes General Shang's mind, and General Shang de-escalates all military interactions, and now they start sharing the information they have with the world. But so the big, and that kind of like the ending scenes are, again, this movie was just blah for me, but the ending scenes is Ian and Luis, kind of like, they've been colleagues, but now they've been through this big life experience together, and so you can tell clearly at this point that Luis is having like future visions as opposed to flashbacks about her daughter, and so basically Ian tells Luis the best part of this experience wasn't meeting the aliens, it was meeting you. Again, which is completely true in real life. I'd rather talk about financial markets than fucking aliens, to be completely fucking honest. Especially when I don't have the fucking data and I'm the one that made the fucking discoveries. God damn, man. But regardless, so now you can clearly tell that Hannah is Ian and Luis's child, and you have another scene where it's like, again, Ian has left Hannah and Luis, and this happens, in the middle of the movie, and it's like Luis explaining to Hannah as a young child that, Ian couldn't take what was going to come, and I guess now Louise can tell that she knows that her daughter's going to have a rare disease that's going to kill her rather young. But should we choose to live our life even though we're going to die? This is some broken commentary on nihilism with a backdrop of aliens. It's like, yeah, you're going to die, so you might as well do stuff with your life. You might as well get something done today. Carpe fucking diem. But regardless, that's the resolution of the movie. It was just, again, flash forward scenes from Louise. Somehow she could see the future. Some broken commentary on time, some shitty linguistics, and a human relationship about death. So, that's really it. That was the major motifs of the development of the writing plot for Arrival. And major themes. Global conspiracy about aliens. Yeah, it's definitely fucking 100% real. Human beings giving a single fuck about their own species, so that's never gonna happen. And again, it's just so fucking how little relevance aliens have to anything. Again, what does alien mean? What does extraterrestrial mean? What does human being mean? Right? We're all individual organisms. We're differentiating the world around us, whether it's with light momentum to see things, or whether it's characterizations to form groups. And so, a species isn't really well defined, right? And we have birds and mammals, and humans are mammals, and so we're all organisms, we're all individuals. And so, again, just the major themes is a large-scale global conspiracy. Again, they talk about treason, because when she's calling, Luis is calling General Shang, like they pull guns on him, like, you're committing treason. But it's like, treason is sabotaging or endangering your own countrymen. So what is when the humanity endangers, or this human species endangers its entirety by not prescribing cannabis, which is proven scientific medicine? And people just won't acknowledge my constitutional rights or International Declaration of Universal Rights, and it kills a bunch of people. At least 4 million Americans will die this year because they won't prescribe them cannabis. And again, go for World War III. I don't want peace, man. Fuck it. Whatever changes human behavior the fastest will actually make human beings better the fastest. And you guys just can't fucking stop killing kids so you guys can fucking lie about science. It's fucking disgusting. Every fucking reporter, Miles Harris, someone I know fucking personally, to Jenna and Hoda, to, I don't know, David Muir on ABC. You guys are all just killing kids because you won't do your jobs. You just won't. You refuse to. And it kills people. And I don't give a fuck. I want my money and away from disgusting fucking people. It's never going to change. They're never going to speak kindly about human beings. They're disgusting. They're whores that kill kids because they're fucking selfish. It's a free-for-all of selfish people, and they're so privileged they don't have to behave. So this global conspiracy, practical, it's happening right now. It has ruined my entire fucking life. It's caused so much death and suffering and war over 70 years. It's disgusting. The aliens don't give a fuck. Most aliens don't give a single fuck. Life is going to happen anyway. A bunch of monkeys on a fucking rock and nobody can give a single fuck about human beings or anything. Decency, respect, integrity, the law. Just fucking anything. So again, I'm scapegoated. I've been scapegoated into the point of fucking slavery, and there's not a single fucking person with a professional legal obligation that will do something. Every day for me is fucking miserable. I need somebody to change their fucking behavior. They won't. They can't. So I'll pump out another movie review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.